Good evening. It is Tuesday, March 7, 2017. Welcome to the Government News Brief. In the news this evening, new primary school slated for Parima, Region 7. Adequate prepaid meters are now available at GPL for distribution, and Prime Minister lauds the struggles and contributions of Indian indentured laborers. These and other stories when the news returns. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. I am Renetta LaFleur. Here are the details. Over 200 students of a hinterland area in Region 7 will this year attend school in their own community. Isaiah Braffett tells us more.
The school's construction is one of the main capital works scheduled by the Region 7 Regional Democratic Council RDC for 2017, says Regional Chairman Gordon Bradford.
At Parima, we'll be building a brand new primary school because the one that is currently being used is dilapidated and it's a threat to human life and so on. So we're going to be taking down that and we're going to be constructing a brand new primary school to the tune of $31 million.
Bradford says that the early reading and passage of the 2017 national budget will allow for the school to be constructed without hindrance. The school is expected to be completed by October.
I think we'll be looking at it in terms of priority also. So that's how we're going. So if we go to tender, the process would take a couple of weeks, and then I think we're going to start awarding tenders. And I'm thankful that the budget has been read quite early, because in the past, budget comes so late, and by the time you get your allocation, you're into the rainy season, and that curtails your effort in terms of executing your programs.
Parima is the only Araucanian-speaking indigenous community in Guyana and is close to the Venezuelan border. Isaiah Braffett, the Government News Brief.
Citizens who have opted for prepaid meters to conserve on energy and save money can now get them, since they are now available at the Guyana Power and Light GPL. Details in this Neola Damon report.
During last year, through the European Union and the Inter-American Development Bank funded Power Utility Upgrade Program, PUUP, contracts for prepaid meters were inked but were not available due to challenges in bringing them here. Minister of Public Infrastructure David Patterson explains that the situation has been rectified and persons can now uplift their prepaid meters.
We had an issue with the amount of meters in the country. Contracts were awarded late last year, but obviously because of the amount of meters, they had to be shipped by sea. We flew in some to meet the emergency allocation. I think the ones, I can't recall, they're saying to me the ones that came by sea should be here, or are here, or should be here right now. So the backlog of prepaid and postpaid meters will now be addressed sequentially, maybe most likely from the first in who first applied, and those doesn't have any will be first attended to.
The Public Infrastructure Minister highlights that postpaid meters are also available and ready for distribution. Additionally, Lot A of the PUUP program also caters for approximately 25,000 smart meters. Minister Patterson states that the smart meters, which are convenient in nature, will be installed soon.
Smart meters are like, we can put akin to a cell phone and a chip, whereby immediately after you run out of power, it trips out. It highlights to persons that the level of activity. So therefore, if you are you stop using it, obviously a bypass or anything like that, it will automatically give a signal to the central control once it's installed. So they will be progressively be installed between now and the end of that Lot A.
Minister Patterson emphasizes that despite GPL's challenges, efforts are underway to improve the quality and level of services being offered. Neola Damon for Government News Brief.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu lauds the struggles and contributions of Indian indentured laborers as the 100th anniversary of the ending of the system of Indian indentureship was observed. Gabriela Patram tells us more.
The Prime Minister was at the time delivering remarks at the Indian Commemorative Trust in collaboration with the Indian Action Committee Abolition Concert at the National Cultural Center. Prime Minister Nagamutu says Guyana is better off today because the country was fed with courage and resilience of the indentured immigrants. He says that the country needs to thank both the indentured laborers and slaves for the struggles they endured, which helped to make Guyana unique.
We have much to celebrate because Guyanese who have become the descendants and the offspring of indentured have excelled in all areas and all endeavors of the life of this country. And there was a time when, like C.R.R. James wrote the book, was called Beyond the Boundaries, that brown people and black people and yellow people could look at the game of cricket beyond the boundaries.
Prime Minister Nagamutu says that Guyanese have become proud citizens of an independent country and all must build on the dreams and aspirations of their ancestors.
We also have produced great politicians, great statesmen, stateswomen, and even today as Guyanese, speaking about women, I believe we have become unique in the world, having in an acting position for the time being a chancellor and a chief justice who were women. The newspaper said we had cracked the ceiling. I think we have broken the ceiling in terms of women power in our country.
The Indian indentureship system was a form of debt bondage by which 3.5 million Indians were transported to various colonies of European powers to provide labor for the mainly sugar plantations. It started from the end of slavery in 1838 and continued until 1920. This resulted in the development of a large Indian diaspora which spread from the Indian Ocean to Caribbean countries like Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Belize, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Jamaica. For the Government News Brief, Gabriela Patra.
Construction of model houses for the Central Housing and Planning Authority's Housing Solution 2017 and Beyond exhibition is moving apace. Zanil Williams has the details.
The exhibition is set for May 1st to 5th, 2017 in Perseverance, East Bank, Demerara. Today, Minister within the Ministry of Communities, Valerie Adams Patterson, and a team of officials visited the site to check on the progress of the preparatory works. The minister, who has responsibility for housing, explains that works are proceeding apace.
What we're actually creating here is a model village. And in this model village, none of the potential owners, those who will buy, can modify the houses until after 5 years. Okay? So I am very happy with what I'm seeing on the ground. It tells us that the people are buying in to this whole project, this whole exhibition. And I can tell you, come May, we're going to have a fantastic event going here.
Works began 2 weeks and the foundations of 6 houses have been completed so far. There will be 6 houses overall and 2 low-income type buildings on stands. There will be houses for low, middle and moderate income levels. The construction of the model houses is expected to be completed in 14 weeks. Project Director Kennard Dazzle explains private developers that will be participating in the event.
It's really exciting in here. I mean, there's been, over the last couple of days, a hype of activities. We have, on the other side now, we have on board about 14 plus private developers / exhibitors for the event coming up. More are coming on board as we speak. They are actually constructing what their version of what a low income, middle income and moderate income buildings are going to look like.
Police officers and members of a security firm also visited the site to plan security measures for the exhibition. Minister Patterson says that the ministry has the full support of the community and persons living in this area will not be affected. This project is aimed at significantly reducing the 25,000 housing application backlog within the CH&PA system and to have the 28,000 vacant house lots across the country occupied. Persons interested in houses must make an application with the authority or if they have already had one in the system. Zanil Williams reporting for the Government News Brief.
The rehabilitation of Mahdia's internal roads is now back on track after substantial delays. More in this report. In 2016, the calls of Mahdia residents for their roads to be rehabilitated were answered by the government. Senior hinterland engineer, Ministry of Public Infrastructure Jeffrey Walcott says the completion of those works was delayed. This, he explains, was due to difficulties in relocating utilities and residents having buildings where the part of the works to be undertaken. However, the relevant authorities have been engaged and work is now progressing, Walcott explains.
The actual township had some issues in terms of maybe where the proposed alignment is versus where the residents are. There are some small, I would say, issues in terms of maybe persons encumbering on the proposed alignment. So those issues are actually being resolved at this point. We've been engaging MPL and GWI in terms of maybe just collaborating to a much greater extent to actually relocate the utilities. And we've been engaging the residents to, not ourselves personally, but the region has been engaging the residents in terms of understanding where the boundaries lie.
Approximately $720 million was allocated in the 2016 budget for works on the Mahdia Roads. The funds have been rolled over for completion of the project in 2017. The senior hinterland engineer underlines that the residents of Mahdia are understanding and have agreed to remove their buildings for the rehabilitation process to take place.
I think how Mahdia, my understanding is that it maybe didn't develop in a very systematic way. So persons may have, as the town grew, just put up things in a kind of somewhat ad hoc manner. So definitive boundaries, I'm sure, they're there, but because the persons were not really being monitored all these years, you do have some cases where persons would have gone beyond their boundaries.
There will be 2 kilometers of the roads concreted along with several drains. The works are likely to be completed in August 2017. Tomorrow, March 8, 2017, Guyana will join the rest of the world in celebrating International Women's Day under the theme Women in the Changing World of Work. According to UN General Secretary Antonio Guterres, women's rights are human rights. He said in these troubled times, as our world becomes more unpredictable and chaotic, the rights of women and girls are being reduced, restricted, and reversed. Empowering women and girls is the only way to protect their rights and make sure they can realize their full potential, Secretary General Guterres said. This has been another edition of the Government News Brief. The details of these and other stories can be found on GNews website. We encourage you to subscribe to our website and YouTube channel. You can also like and follow us on Facebook to be updated as the news unfolds. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition of the Government News Brief. I am Renette Lafleur. Have a great night.